Hey, what up, everybody? This is Steve Breach coming to you, starting off the conversation about WWE Hell in the Cell 2015. Never too early. Here we are, the night after Night of Champions 2015. It looks like we already know the direction they're going in. They've already told us what the main event of the show is going to be, with Brock Lesnar going up against Undertaker, playing off of Battleground and SummerSlam and WrestleMania 30 and all of that and everything that went along with it. This is going to be definitely a fun show. Kane makes his return during the Sheamus cash-in, stops Sheamus from the act of cashing in. So in one way, he does protect Seth Rollins, but at the same time, he does inflict personal pain on Rollins as well. I'm guessing that more than likely, because of the strength of the main event, with Brock Lesnar going up against Undertaker, we are going to be seeing at Hell in the Cell, Kane going up against Seth Rollins. For months and months, Seth Rollins was the champion of a WWE. Kane was the guy that was hired to sort of be his protector. He was taking care of things backstage. He was taking care of things inside the ring. He was like, well, he had J&J security, but he was almost like Seth Rollins' personal security. He was the guy that was basically the cleaner for everything that was going on. He's basically having to follow around Rollins and try to get him out of all the sticky situations that he got himself into, because he was like, Rollins is really good, but the character he plays is almost like that kid on the playground who just likes to run his mouth until the point where he gets his ass kicked. But somehow, one way or another, because of the higher power, I guess that'd be the authority, Rollins is always able to squeeze his way out of these problems, but everybody knows it's not him actually, being the guy who gets him out of this. It's always because, it's like the kid in high school bragging about how nice his car is, but everybody knows that, his rich daddy bought him that car. And if it wasn't for Triple H, if it wasn't for Stephanie, if it wasn't for Kane or J&J Security or anybody else along the way, there's no way in the world Rollins would be this. But as of right now, even though Rollins lost to John Cena, losing the United States Championship, he wasn't going to hold on to that title forever. You can definitely see that more than likely on Monday Night Raw, because he beat Sting, a future Hall of Famer, Rollins is going to be calling himself the best of all time. And that's where Kane steps in. And now Kane, he's got the mask back on, he's got the hair, he's got the Blazing Inferno with him. He can bring the heat. I think that this is going to be a good match, definitely not being in the main event spot. I think that if it was the main event, having two shows in a row, one being led by Sting at 2015 Night of Champions, and then Hell in the Cell with Rollins versus Kane, it would be a sort of a show that you look at it like, oh man, WWE's in trouble. But with the main event, we all saw how big SummerSlam was with Brock Lesnar going up against The Undertaker. I think Hell in the Cell is going to shape up to be a pretty good card. The only thing I wonder about is who Cena's going to go up against, but I guess we're going to have to figure that out on Monday Night Raw tonight. Hey, what up, everybody? This is Stevie Breach coming to you here today, and this guy's making an appearance here. Somebody left this on my car for me today. I came out here on my lunch, and here's Jesus. And basically the only thing that it made me think about was the upcoming Hell in the Cell pay-per-view. I know that's a horrible thing to think of, but basically thinking all about the Demon Kane and Seth Rollins match. And I'm trying to make a way to sort of spin this for Seth Rollins, basically saying that this is a good match for him to be in. Honestly, if you think about it, the last few months for Seth Rollins have not been that good. Besides for beating Sting at Night of Champions, he keeps on battling against John Cena on television on pay-per-view. I honestly can't remember him winning that very many matches except for that Sting match since about SummerSlam in my mind. And that's not a good place for the WWE champion to be in. That's a pretty soft spot for your champion to be going into a pay-per-view, and he's on a few-month losing spree of losing on television. He's losing at house shows. He's losing on pay-per-view. Normally, even if you have a heel champion who is slimy, he does cheat to find a way to find a victory. And this is something that Seth Rollins has not been able to do. We've seen him stripped of basically corporate Kane is no longer in his corner because he's going to be going up against the Demon Kane. J&J Security, they aren't hanging around anymore ever since running into Brock Lesnar. And Big Show, he basically left the Authority a long time ago, and I don't really know if the Big Show is a babyface or the Big Show is a heel, but I'm sort of surprised at the way they've used the Big Show as of late, using him a lot in those intercontinental title feuds and things like that, Seth Rollins hasn't got a one-up on the Big Show, trying to put him down and used him to get some sort of a victory to spark what's going on in his wrestling career, I guess you can say right now. But some people are down on Rollins because it's sort of bad when you have a champion on top and the guy can't win a match to save his life, but yet he's been champion since WrestleMania 31. There's talk out there that people think he's just the champion, just to keep the title on him, and he would beat CM Punk's title reign just because they are trying anything they can do to erase the memory of CM Punk and erase the memory of AJ Lee. Honestly, when it comes down to it, in my mind, you're not going to erase those two. They were two very wildly popular wrestlers, one in the Diva division, one in the male division. CM Punk was a guy that they tried their best to do everything they could to hold him down, but he basically rose up on his own. If you think about, 2011, how many pay-per-views and how many television shows you watched, CM Punk lose before finally becoming the #1 contender and going after John Cena's belt at Money in the Bank. And it seems like out of the middle of nowhere, he became one of the hottest things in professional wrestling just because of one show, and then they were never able to really capitalize on it. I mean, SummerSlam, Punk versus John Cena with Triple H as the special guest referee. It drew a big number, but then right out of the gate, I mean, you had Alberto Del Rio cash in because of Kevin Nash, and then you were on to John Cena going up against Alberto Del Rio, and all of the WWE Championship thoughts were in that match. I fucked that up because Punk won. Oh, Del Rio, yeah. Cena became the #1 contender to go after Del Rio, and then Punk was left to be booked into a match with Kevin Nash. It never happened, and ended up fighting Triple H at Night of Champions. So, it was almost like you just knocked him down a peg right out of the bat for being so popular. But when you look at Rollins, I mean, obviously you got to think that him going in to the match against Kane is going to be an easy victory, I guess you can say. I mean, they've been building up Kane for a while, but when you think about Kane, you're not really thinking he's going to win, are you? I mean, Adam, the Boston Brothers, you really think he's gonna win? I don't think he's gonna win. I don't think there's a chance in hell. The closest he's gonna come to winning that championship is when he's been holding it up on Monday Night Raw the last few weeks. I don't think there's a chance in hell that he's gonna win. I mean, Rollins definitely is gonna get the win against here, and then there's not a lot of guys at the top of the card right now. I don't even know where Rollins goes with a feud off of this. I mean, I've been thinking for a while that Rollins would have a match against Triple H, and I thought that would happen at Survivor Series, but I'm not really sure that that's going to happen from here. There's just some people out there holding on to the fact that they think that Rollins is going to have a match against The Rock at Survivor Series. Could happen. I don't know, but I don't think you're going to put John Cena back into that feud against Rollins as well. Well, he's going to be gone anyways after Hell in a Cell. So, I mean, like, is Ambrose going to become your #1 contender again? Are you finally going to give Roman Reigns a title shot after, him losing at WrestleMania? I don't think that he's got a title shot since then, but I might have been wrong. Somewhere along the line, he might have been like a 4-way or something like that, but I can't think of anything off the top of my head. But Kane versus Rollins definitely should get Rollins pointed in the right direction and being a winning champion yet once again, but we will see. Alright, let me get this off my chest here, alright? I've been watching WWE since Night of Champions. I remember that show. Basically, Seth Rollins defended his championship twice that night. Well, he defended 2 championships that night. Seth Rollins lost to John Cena. Came out again, beat Sting in the main event. Then after that was being tried for his third match. Sheamus came down to cash in his Money in the Bank. At that point, the Demon Kane came out of the back and basically said that nobody was going to be defeating Seth Rollins for that WWE Championship unless it was him. Demon Kane disposed of Sheamus. Demon Kane disposed of Seth Rollins, and held the WWE Championship over his head, very victorious, acting like he was going to be the future WWE Champion and be moving forward, as the guy in the authority that was running things these days. Kane and Rollins have had their disappointments. They've had their misunderstandings, where basically Seth Rollins blamed Kane for the bad plan leading up to the contract signing for the Battleground match against Brock Lesnar. At that point, we saw Brock Lesnar break Kane's leg. Seth Rollins ran outside and delivered more damage to Kane. And I don't know why Kane has never thought to take any, anything out on Brock for, initiating the leg being broke. Maybe he just feels that Rollins put him in this situation basically by Triple H saying that he was in charge and his plan better work or it was going to be his job. Ends up being that Corporate Kane, through, just some technicalities, weaseled his way backstage at WWE, weaseled his way back into his job by just talking over Triple H and talking over Stephanie and just being too nice of a guy that nobody wanted to, fire him or, tell him that he wasn't supposed to be there. Almost like Milton from, Office Space, pretty much. But, in this whole time, Corporate Kane is running around backstage at WWE, but Demon Kane is coming down, interrupting Monday Night Raw. Demon Kane is, destroying Seth Rollins, just basically laying him out at one point. Rollins is having a match against John Cena. After the match is over, Demon Kane emerges and pulls Seth Rollins under the ring to sort of take him on a trip to hell. I've been watching all this. I know all this has happened. Even at the point where Demon Kane beat Seth Rollins on Monday Night Raw in a lumberjack match, even after 12 guys jumped in the ring and all took shots at Demon Kane. Demon Kane did the Undertaker sit-up and then took everybody out. Even though I've seen all this and know all this part, I don't understand how this match got signed. It's even got a stipulation where if, Demon Kane loses, Corporate Kane will not be a part of WWE and the Authority or anything anymore. Basically saying that Kane will not be on WWE television anymore. I don't remember any of this. I don't know where any of this has come from. I honestly thought that they were going to have to put this match together on Monday Night Raw, and I thought that, with 2 losses, to Demon Kane and all of the beatdowns, why Seth Rollins would want to face Demon Kane, seeing how his character basically runs away from matches like this and things that go down. I don't know. Seth Rollins really hasn't been really booked all that well. He hasn't really been booked as a strong champion. 3 wins, 2 against Ryback, 1 against Neville since August. Lots of losses, lots of beatdowns. It was awesome to see him rejoin the Shield and have a Shield reunion. But I'm not really sure what they're doing this match for. It's no favors to Seth Rollins. I know that you probably wanted to have a WWE Championship match on the show, but you have Brock Lesnar, you have Undertaker, you're trying to push Roman Reigns to be the incumbent future of the WWE. Maybe you wanted those 2 matches to be really strong, so Kane just seems to be the guy. Maybe they wanted to have sort of a career pinnacle moment for Kane to sort of leave out on. I guess you can say that's the same reason why they gave Sting the match at Night of Champions. Maybe they just wanted to have Kane walk away. We've heard for a long time, even going back to Daniel Bryan, was going to wrestle him and it was going to be his last match. It was going to be his retirement. He was going to lose a Buried Alive match and the Kane character was going to be dead. That was a year ago. We've heard stories of Mark Henry basically saying that he's walking into Vince's office to say that he's he's quitting, and then he's leaving WWE. He's going to retire. Next thing he's knowing, he's signing a contract extension to stay in the company for 3 years. I don't know if Kane is that kind of guy where Vince just is scared to lose him because he doesn't have anyone of that imposing size. But honestly, when it comes down to it, even though they've sort of put this match together that well, I'm not really looking forward to it, but I'm not at the place where I am like if it was Big Show versus Rollins, where I'm just saying like, good God, this is a guy that I don't understand how nobody wants to see this guy, and you keep pushing him out in these big, high-quality matches. There's no real build to this match. Honestly, in my opinion, I think this is the match to get Rollins back on track. He's having a bump in the road. He beats Kane. From there, maybe he fights Ambrose at the next pay-per-view, and they can have a good little run, because as of right now, with Randy Orton being injured, I'm not sure who is going to be taking him on, but take your money, take a little second mortgage out on the house, put it all on Rollins to win this match, because there's no way in hell that Kane's walking out with that WWE Championship.